What up, y'all? It's your girl Dauntlessdany, and I'm back again with another video. As promised, I told you guys that I'll be coming with a sit down video to tell you like where I've been and what I plan on doing and how I plan on moving my channel forward. So for starters, so there's been a transition that I've been going through right now. I got a new job. Yay! So I'll tell you guys a little bit about where I was prior. So before I got into my new role, I was working at Emory Autism Center, and I can say this because I don't work there anymore. So yeah, I was working at Emory Autism Center. For those of you that personally know me, you know I was working there, and those of you that are viewing my channel and trying to get to know me through my channel, that's where I was working prior to where I'm at now. So with that being said, I worked there for a little over 2 years. It would have been 3 years had I stayed at up until August, but I told myself I am not making it to 3 years there. It was such a headache, but I'll start from the beginning. So the beginning, a good friend of mine had put me on to this job, and then so I was like, okay, cool, it'll be something until I, like move towards what I really want to do. So I was working there for a couple years, and then COVID hit last year, 2020, and we ended up working virtual. So I work with 2 and 3 year olds, by the way. So I worked with 2 and 3 year olds with autism and typical kids as well. So it was a good mix so that they could learn from their peers. I was working there, and then COVID hit 2020. We started working virtual online. What really hit me was when we started to go back into the school. So as we went back into the building, it began to be a lot more stressful because I was job searching, trying to find something that was right for me, and I just didn't want to be there anymore, because if you have children or work with children, you know that sometimes it can be a little stressful. And I don't think I want to save my energy for my own kids one day. That's what we were doing. We moved back into the building like probably around June, early July, I want to say. And we started to do one-on-one sessions with some of the kids before we brought everybody back in, because the kids that had autism, they had treatment plans and things like that, and those things needed to be done because their parents were paying for it. So you can't really give treatment like that over a computer. They need physical contact for the most part in order to learn. But yeah, so we did that, and then people started to trickle out. Like, people started to leave, find better, because the work environment at Emory Autism Center was very stressful to a lot of us. And it was stressful to the point to where, people started to click off, or people started to, didn't care about their schedules, like people were rolling late, and it would take a toll on, all of us. So higher up, mainly the director, I don't feel like he really cared as much about his employees, because truth be told, the only time I heard that I really did a good job at Emory Autism Center was when I put my 2 weeks in, but we're gonna get to that. So anywho, yeah, well, at least just from the director. But other than that, of course, in the classroom that I was in, we tried our best to support each other as much as we could and things like that. And I was assistant coordinator in my class at this time. I started off as an assistant teacher, and then the beginning of 2020 is when I took the role of assistant coordinator. So yeah, and we were getting understaffed. We were already understaffed prior, because there's a ratio that we had to follow. So there's a ratio that we had to follow, but apparently right from the start it says there could be 1 teacher to every 10 kids, but not our 10 kids. Not when you're dealing with children with, I don't want to call it a disability, but I guess a sort of kind of like a disadvantage to an extent, because they do have to try to learn things twice as harder than your typical person. But I just really do hope that these kids get the help that they need as well. So it was basically, my breaking point was when, you know, people start to come in later on the shifts, or whenever people needed to take certain tasks in the mornings. That was something that really, you know, kind of discouraged me a lot with, you know, pushing things forward, because, you know, I try to work as a team, and at the same time I know that work shouldn't be stressful to you. Like, people have lives outside of work, so it's just like, whenever we come together to, you know, be on time or do things that we need to do, you know, it helps out a lot. So that was a big issue for myself and for a lot of other people, because I know my class in particular, we had to take upon most of like the morning care or aftercare duties sometimes, depending on other classes. So it was just mainly it was very stressful to try to talk to other people and stuff still not be changed. Or even then, like, whenever we would have like coordinators meeting, because like all of the leads in the classroom would meet like once a month with the director, and we talk about certain things. But even then, I stopped talking in those meetings too, because I felt like it was a waste of time, because every time we'd say something, like, nothing would ever be done for real. So I'm just like, you know what, well, whatever happens happens. And then at the end of the day, like, my ultimate job there was just making sure that kids don't hurt themselves or other people. So that was what I was mainly concerned about, because towards the end, like, I honestly stopped caring, because like I said, I wanted to change professions, do something different, and just less stress. Because like, honestly, being there, it slightly made me depressed, and that's another topic that I'm going to talk about in a separate video. It just slightly made me depressed, because I felt like I wasn't going to get another job. I felt like I wasn't going to make enough money, because like, I have goals that I want to accomplish. Like, I want to move, I want to get in a car, and I'm going to talk about my car too, y'all, because it's just been a lot. And I just wanted to come and update you guys on where I've been, how I've been doing. I'm doing a lot better. Excuse me. I'm doing a lot better now. Changing jobs was the ultimate goal for me, and making more money. So that's definitely a plus for me. I'm happy in that aspect of my life. And the people that I'm currently around, they're so supportive and welcoming. I really do like my current job. It's within marketing, so marketing communication, which I got my master's in. If you guys didn't know, I don't think I really talked about my degrees on my channel, but I'm definitely going to get into that too. So I'm really going to do more sit down videos with you guys, because I feel like I want to do, like, of course, natural hair. If you like this hairstyle, I think it's so cute. I feel like I get my natural hairstyles inspo from Only One Jess now. I mean, I still love African Beauty, aka she's now Isime Ideco. I hope I'm not butchering her name, but she's one of my favorite YouTubers as well. But I feel like Only One Jess, like, she's like, we're here with the hair compatibility, and I feel like I like how her journey with her cutting her hair and things like that. So that's why I felt like I needed to cut the rest of the color out of my hair, because it's just making my hair look ashy and just lifeless. And I need for my hair to get back on track, and I feel like that's the best thing I could have done for my hair, was just to cut that color out, and, you know, move on. Because, you know, it's just hair and it'll grow back, and even then, it's just, I like how it brings out the dark color, just brings out my skin tone a little more. Back to my story, guys. Like I said, I just wanted a change. And, you know, the more you work at something and manifest it, because I'm a big believer in manifestation, I try to stay positive and things like that. But you know, it was something that I really wanted, and I wasn't going to stop until I got it, because at the end of the day, I was so happy to walk up out of there, honestly. Like, since the beginning of this year, 2021, there's been like a high turnover rate at that place. And you know, it's just that like, it needs a whole 360. Like, I feel like they're still going off old ways that's not working, and then, you know, you have parents that want to come into the building, but the director's like, because like it's chaos, honestly. Like nobody, like there's probably all of what, like 6 teachers left, and I feel bad at the same time, but you know, people will do what they want to do when they need to do it. So you know, you really can't feel bad, because just like I got up out of there, everyone else has like an equal opportunity to do so. So I just feel like that was a big thing for me. Like I honestly do wish everyone well, and just prosper, because when you leave there, like you feel a big weight lifted off of you. Like literally, I came home one day and told my mom, like, I'm slightly depressed, because it's like you go in and it's the same thing, like same routine. You have kids with behavior problems. Speaking of behavior problems, there was one incident where I had this one kid. I won't name him, but I had him in my class. So he moved. So there's like early preschool, and then pre-K. So he's had potty issues all up until pre-K. He's currently in pre-K. And so there was one day where we were all outside. I think I was lead outside at the time when all classes were combined. And there was a new lead coordinator in pre-K at the time. She didn't even stay a month, I don't think, until she like put in her 2 weeks, because that's just how bad the environment there is. And I feel like if the teachers and the directors like that come together to try to support each other a little bit better, then I feel like it won't be as bad. And also the pay too. The pay is number one on top of that, because you can't make an honest living off of $15 an hour. Like you just can't. Like with the rates of, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, with the rates of Atlanta going up, and you just like trying to, you know, be out here and not trying to live paycheck to paycheck, you're going to struggle. So unless you're rooming with somebody, $15 is not going to get you an apartment. $15 is not going to get you a new car. Like it's not going to do any of that. And I feel like with the background that I had, like you was really like taking me as a joke. So with that being said, like I said, I am in a much better place and financially growing, like appreciate it in the way to like, what, like, yeah, we ain't talking about that, because it's beautiful. Like I love it here. But back to the story. So yeah, so the new lead pre-K lead teacher or whatever, she noticed that one of her students was basically picking at me, but as a teacher, of course, you're supposed to plan to ignore and all this stuff, and then which I did. I planned to ignore, and basically I turned my back for a second to, you know, talk to another teacher about something, and all I felt was mulch being thrown at me. And this ain't even in detail, y'all, but you know, this detail enough. So all I felt was like mulch thrown at me, and I'm just like, I look at the teacher, she looked at me, and she's like, girl. I'm like, yeah. So I'm just like, all right. So I sat him down at this point, because you know, I was fed up. Prior to that, he would, you know, come up to me, scream, and like run off, or whatever the case may be. You know, like I ignored all that, like just don't touch me, we're good, you know, we're good. But yeah, so he threw the mulch at me. This was like the last straw. So I sat him down, and he starts to cry. And he's the type of person to be like, you know, to lie on someone, which is crazy to me, because it's like, you know what you're doing. And this is a typical child, but he has behavioral issues. So yeah, this is he starts to cry and was like, ow, ow, like I was supposedly hurting him, but I didn't even jack him up or grab him in an aggressive way. I just sat him down. Was like, you can sit there until you go home, because at this point I'm just fed up. So the lead teacher of his class at the time, you know, brought him over to try to apologize to me, and I told her, you know, it's really okay, I don't need to, like, he's 4, like I don't care. So yeah, she brought him over, she insisted. And so this time I had like a mask and a face shield on. So, you know, I was trying to wait patiently for her to, you know, like follow through with him, to apologize, all this stuff. And so basically, she said it the first time, you need to say I'm sorry. He's like, no. And you know, he calls me stupid, whatever. I was like, okay. And then so she asked him to do it again, and then he hacks up spit from the back of his throat and spits it towards me. Like, it landed on the clipboard that I was holding. And so I'm just like, oh no, this is not it. I don't get paid enough for this. I'm not, no. So I take the clipboard and I wipe it on his face. Like, I was like, that's gross. And I wipe it on his face, and he's like, ew. Like, yeah, like, you don't spit at people. Like, that's disgusting. That's nasty. I've had someone spit at me once in my lifetime. That was undergrad. Maybe we'll give that story time at a different day. But I'm just like, that's the most disrespectful thing you can do. Calling me out my name is one thing, or whatever, that's also disrespectful, but I feel like spitting at someone is like the lowest of lowest that you could do. And it's crazy because I guess his whole everybody felt sorry for him because of where he had come from, all this stuff. I'm just like, you know, you're in a new care now, and you know, whatever, like, but you know, people, like, certain things do not leave. Like, sorry y'all, I don't even know where I left off, but I basically think I left off with saying, like, yeah, that's the lowest thing that you could ever do, is like spit on somebody. Like, that's so gross. Like, it's really disgusting. But yeah, so I mean, all in all, I wish that place nothing but the best. It just definitely was not for me. Like, people who are in that field, like RBTs, ABAs, BCBAs, like, I commend you guys for working with kids with behavior issues or with autism. Like, it's not an easy job whatsoever, but you know, somebody has to do it, and you know, you have to love it in order to, you know, fight through those tough days. I mean, I have had ABA experience within the classroom, which I will be using on a special guest that you guys will be meeting soon, because yeah, I am so excited to show you guys this new journey of mine, and so stay tuned. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.